The Israel First false dichotomy. Since the recent platforming of Nick Fuentes by Tucker Carlson, there's been panic in the right wing, producing a smear campaign by Zionists, Christian and otherwise, to attempt to force only one morally acceptable political position. Either you pledge unquestioning support for the state of Israel as your religious obligation and duty, or be considered a vile anti-Semite, unworthy of being welcomed into acceptable political discourse within the Republican Party. To substantiate this claim, you need look no further than Israel First Senator Ted Cruz, who stated that the Bible commands Christians to support the state of Israel lest you be cursed. In fact, he admitted that his chief purpose in becoming a senator was to support that foreign nation. Or look at Congressman Randy Fine, who said that Tucker Carlson, because of his platforming of Nick Fuentes and Israel-critical attitude, is, quote, the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. This either-or fallacy is an agenda-driven manipulation tactic, attempting to discourage Israel-critical discourse, sometimes using scripture out of context to persuade many sweet but gullible Christians who are falling prey to it. Many prominent Christian Zionist leaders genuinely believe this stuff and are not open to reasoning on the subject. It's become dogma at this point, where they don't engage the facts, they will not debate, they've just concluded that if you don't see it their way, Satan must have gotten a hold of you and turned you into a vile anti-Semite. They're disconnected from their Christian history, and they don't realize that every serious Christian theologian rejected this idea of ethnic prioritization, bordering on idolatry of an ethnic group, simply based off of physical descent. The day after the interview released, Zionists like Dinesh D'Souza, a seemingly sincere Christian, were celebrating their first scalp in the cancel campaign, when rumors surfaced that the Heritage Foundation, a long-standing conservative think tank, seemed to be distancing itself from Tucker Carlson. The next day, Kevin Roberts, the president of the organization, issued a statement to the contrary, saying, quote, Christians can critique the state of Israel without being anti-Semitic. And immediately after that, he condemned actual anti-Semitism. He went on to say that his loyalty as a Christian and an American is, quote, to Christ first and America always. He continued, quote, we will always defend our friends against the slander of bad actors who serve someone else's agenda, and that includes Tucker Carlson. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, Roberts said, quote, I disagree with and even abhor things that Nick Fuentes says, but canceling him isn't the answer either. When we disagree with a person's thoughts and opinions, we challenge those ideas in debate. What Kevin Roberts presented here was the true American way, a third and most reasonable option. And this is what I believe made the reception of his statement so intolerable by his opponents. If I'm to be maximally charitable, I think it's important to divide these Zionists who are participating in this smear campaign. There are the non-Christian, bad faith manipulators like James Lindsay, Lindsey Graham, Josh Hammer, Mark Levin, and then you have what I see as high trust but misled Christians like Mike Huckabee, Eric Metaxas, Jack Hibbs, and Sean Foyt. I believe they sincerely believe that their Bible commands them to support the state of Israel. In our previous parts in this series, we established that throughout most of Christian history, particularly from the early church fathers on through the Reformation, it has been most commonly understood that there is one covenant people, true Israel, Jew and Gentile alike, those who live by faith in God's only Son, Jesus Christ. This idea is what came to be known as supersessionism, and is what the Bible clearly teaches. The vast majority of serious Christian theologians like Augustine, Aquinas, Luther, Calvin, Spurgeon, and Sproul adhered to some form of supersessionism. It is not the minority, fringe, replacement theology view that John Hagee has a heart attack over every Sunday. It is the correct Christian view, in fact. The church is true Israel, God's chosen people. And to put it in the words of my favorite Christian Zionist pastor, Skip Heitzig, and I mean this sincerely, quote, if you want to know that you're chosen by God, choose him.